Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com. Today I want to talk to you about the negativity trap that the world has sprung on people. If you look around you, and I'm not talking about looking for negativity, but if you look around you and just observe what is going on in the media, people just talking in regular daily life, there is a constant influx of negativity. There's wars people are talking about. There's this political problem. There's this issue over here. There's this illness. There's whatever. There's the weather. There's people spewing forth negativity, and it is the way of the world. But you don't have to go the way of the world. And I have to stress this, that a lot of churches, a lot of professing Christians, a lot of pastors and ministers are speaking the way of the world. They aren't following Philippians 4:8. They aren't thinking about things that are only lovely and of good report. How can you think of things that are lovely and of good report while speaking about negativity and doom and gloom and this bad thing and that bad thing? You can't. It's not possible. Anyone saying that is a liar. And I'm just putting it out there bluntly because people got to stop pretending that, well, I'm a positive person just because one time a day you say something positive. Or a couple times a week you redirect somebody who's really negative and down to something a little less negative. That's not being positive. The world has even gotten so bold and brazen, they talk about toxic positivity. This is one of those things they throw out there with toxic masculinity, toxic femininity, toxic this and that. They try to make things that are neutral into something negative or something positive into something negative. There is no such thing as toxic positivity. There are people who do things wrong and call it positivity, but there's no such thing as toxic positivity. That's nonsense. But the world wants you getting into this doom and gloom mentality, this negative, woe is me, oh, there's so many bad things, oh, I got to keep it real, as if that's some virtue. You think talking about the world's negativity is keeping it real, or is being realistic, or just being honest? No, you're deceived, my friend. If you speak that way and you think that way, your life will exhibit the same things of negativity that you've been speaking and decreeing and believing for. Now, you'll never go and wake up each morning and pray for negativity to happen in your life. But when you go forth speaking forth the words of death and destruction and evil and negativity, that's the only thing you can reap in your life. Because that is what you're actually believing for. What you are speaking is what you are decreeing, and is what you are truly in your heart believing for. You can rattle off some prayer to God, claiming you want goodness, you want peace in the world or whatever, but your words reveal what you're really thinking about in your heart, what you really want to happen. No, you want that negativity, you want that drama if you're speaking about it, if you're thinking about it, you're meditating on it. This is one of the reasons why I encourage people to stop wasting their time on social media. Now, I get it, if you have a business or something, you can post there, but you don't have to be there reading social media nonsense for hours, getting all the doom and gloom. And the social media platforms, many of them are dedicated to put things in front of you that disagree with what you believe, so you'll get engaged. So you'll read more of it, so you get mad and you'll stay on there longer reading and posting comments about why you disagree. You're being played by an algorithm. And the most tragic part of it is that it's hurting you. It's making your life worse. Your life's not getting better because you spent 5 hours on social media yesterday. Your life's not getting better because you read that newest post from somebody, some influencer on social media. Those things aren't blessing you. They're not helping you. They're making your life demonstrably worse. And that is what the world has to offer. But what I want to talk about is the following of Philippians 4:8. Where you focus on things that are lovely and of good report. You focus on the goodness of God. You focus on beauty in the world. And there's a lot of it. I know the world tells you there's wars and there's this bad thing and that bad thing and oh, these people over here are terrible, whatever. But there's a lot of good in the world. In almost any place in the world, there's somebody doing something good for somebody else. There's blessing going on. There are children born. There are people being married. There's love in the air. There's peace. Now, I know in the greater world, there's all this doom and gloom because that's the God of this world, Satan, controls that. And the vast majority of people fall in line with it. And they speak it, they preach it, they live it. And worse yet, many professing Christians will do all that negativity, and then they blame God for their lives. We know God must not want me to be healthy because, I'm just still sick and I prayed. You prayed, but you didn't believe. You had zero faith. And then you proved you had zero faith by going around talking up your illness and moaning and groaning about it and whining and complaining, going and finding other people to commiserate in your misery, and then wondering why your life is not getting better. There is so much goodness in the world. And the Lord has blessed us with the very gift of life in the very beginning, just having life. I wake every morning and I give thanks to God for all the things in my life. I just start listing them and thanking Him for them. And one of the most basic things is the breath of life. Just being alive is a great blessing. There are many people who didn't wake up this morning, but you did. I did. That's a great blessing. The fact we have food, we have clothing, we have shelter. I don't care how humble your shelter is. If you have shelter, that's a blessing. If you have transportation, that's a blessing. Even if it's not your own, even if somebody else picks you up and drives you around, that's a blessing. There are so many good and lovely things that we can focus on in the world. Things that just exhibit God's goodness and grace. There are people who are getting saved each and every day. There are people who are coming back to the Lord who fell away because the world's negativity drew them away. As Jesus taught in the parable of the sower, the thief, the devil, Satan comes to steal the word immediately from someone's heart. And it can only be stolen if those people don't understand it. And many people do not understand the word that's sown in their heart. That's how they get into negativity. When you understand this word, you understand the word of life, the word Jesus preached. If you understand the word, really get it deep down in your heart, you can't wallow around this negativity of the world. You can only see the goodness of God. You can only see the grace of God. You can only see the blessings of God. Yes, you can obviously physically see a negative experience, but you can look for some good in it, and you can look to add good to it. That's one of the biggest blessings you can have in life, is that if you see something that's a problem, maybe you have the ability to solve it, whether financially or through your time or through your prayers or through just giving somebody some kind words. There are things you can do to make the world a better place. And that is what we should be doing as believers. We should be radiating light, radiating goodness. People shouldn't expect to hear the world's news from us. They shouldn't expect to hear about this bad thing and that bad thing. They shouldn't be expecting that from us. We should be beacons of light, not smoldering, dying candles that have a little tiny bit of light, but a whole lot of darkness. My friend, be that light. Focus on the goodness of God. Because when you do that, it brings about the best in your life, and it'll help bring out the best in other people's lives. There's so much goodness, so much blessing, so much abundance and opulence in this world, so much healing, so much health, so much wealth, so much favor, so much wisdom. There are so many good things of God in our lives and in the world around us that we can look to and see God's goodness in them and give the Lord praise for it and share it with other people. Spread that light, spread that goodness, spread that faith, and watch as our world and the world around us becomes a better place. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.